everyone, welcome to another Training Tuesday, and this week is just all about body conditioning. We've got various things, and what I'll do is we're just going to film Katniss and Kevin. I'm going to straighten that up slightly because that's annoying. Film Katniss and Kevin going through it, and I'll do a bit of a voiceover of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and why it can help, or how it can help your dog.
So I start off with the stack blocks, just for the target first, and then as you can see I'm moving the rear on. So stack blocks are good for core strength, and if you watch I sort of gradually pull or encourage her to stretch forward, which is just getting her to use her back muscles and across her hip muscles a bit more. It's just checking her collar, it wasn't too tight then. And then Finn is going through the weave cones. So those cones are just very cheap. We got them on Amazon. I'll try and remember to add a Amazon affiliate link. So they're very cheap, and you can see how Kevin's really got to figure out and work his way through that with his coordination, his rear end awareness, and when Katniss into a down, and then straight up into a stand, and then back down to a down. So these are like push-ups for dogs. So she's, there you go. So she was slow into the down, so I just waited and then gave it to her. So I'd like her to come up with a little bit more, less of a step, more of a push, if that makes sense. And later on in this session, she does do the more of a push up. That was slightly better. So I get to try and encourage Katniss to come with me because she was busy making sure she'd add all of those. So that's like a little pivot block. It's for obedience training. They teach them how to pivot around so that they can hold their heel position. But I use it for rear end awareness, rear end suppleness. So the two cones where Finn is with Kevin is used like a figure of 8. So yeah, using the figure of 8, and you go round it both ways as you see me doing with Katniss later. It's just again working on their suppleness, working on their rear end coordination. You can see Kevin knocks it over. So Katniss is on the target. So what I'm going to work on next is getting her to put her hind feet on the target and then get her to stretch down to the floor. So that's quite a hard movement. It's quite a big stretch for them. But it's all about getting them to use their muscles to relax, to get more supple, to get stronger, to get fitter. So again, spins, suppleness, rear end awareness. It's quite a big focus on that generally. But this will help with all sorts of things, like with their stacks. Like all this training, Lani had a tendency to stand a little bit wide in front. So all this training helped with that, doing beg like that. That's real good core exercise for the dog. So I only do a little bit with Katniss because she's a puppy and she hasn't really developed her core very much yet. But it's all working towards her developing her core. So yeah, anyway, it really helped Lani stack with teaching him where to put his front legs. Pod has a tendency to stack a little bit wide behind, and again, this is really helping Pod. So we're putting the dogs through their paces multiple times a week. But what I tend to do is I tend to set it up, and then each day, and then just pick a couple of dogs a day to take through it. So today, Katniss had a go, Pod did, and then Arya and Raven did. Yesterday, Lani and Finnick had a go, as well as Pod. I love how the ducks are just coming in and out as well. So again, Kevin's going on the stack block. It's getting him to use his top line and use his core, which is where Kevin's quite weak at the moment. As some of you may know, Kevin's currently going through physio after a bit of a back injury. And some of these are exercises the physio has recommended, and others are ones we've added ourselves. But again, we know, we've basically been told with Kevin that keep going, and if he's showing signs of discomfort or unwillingness to practice the exercises, then stop, give him the benefit of the doubt that it's hurting, he's done enough, and then do these a couple of times a day. So because Kevin's doing them every day, I'm just sort of making the most of it and having a go with my dogs as well. So this is the figure of 8 with Katniss at the back. You can see she was quite struggling to remember to bring that hind end round. So we just worked on it and just taking it slow until she really understands the exercise. And you know, it's a good these are good exercises for you to do as a dog trainer, or to train your dog, because it's teaching you more about your timing, about your luring, about how to position dogs. And yeah, it's giving you a nice perspective of working your dog. So then I put the cones a bit closer together with the plan of getting her to sit between them to work on a straighter sit. You can see Finn is doing the push-ups, doggy push-ups with Kevin, and Katniss was trying to be cheeky and knock the cone out of the way. As you can see, like, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares if they knock a cone. We just carry on. We just reposition, carry on. You can see Katniss is actually struggling, and she knocked the cone, but then she sort of self-straightened, and I was like, oh, okay. So you want to sit a bit wonky. So that's something I know now that I need to work on. This is working towards a different exercise, a more advanced one, but she's not quite ready for it yet. But again, it is teaching her the straightness. So to be stood on there, which is quite narrow, she can't go wide behind. If she goes steps sideways, she'll step off of it, which you will see her do at some points. And I'm trying to straighten her to help her a bit, but you know, Katniss, she doesn't really always take me guiding her that way. And then she comes off it. She's like, nope, you're helping me too much. I need to do it on my own. So I just want her to sit on this block. There we go. And again, aerobic stepper, I'll try and remember to put the affiliate link in. It's on Amazon, and it is a real good piece for your training toolkit. So I'm trying to get her to do feet, which is even her hind legs on. And then I'd like her, the more advanced exercises from there is to sit. So they got to sort of step or jump back up with their front legs onto the block. So the older dogs, I'm teaching to do it and managing it, but it's a bit beyond Katniss, which is fine because she's a baby, and she wasn't being very helpful. If you watch, we sort of get one leg on, and then she comes off with a leg, and then I put that leg on, and then she's off with a different leg. Watch now. So see, but we do get it in the end. In the end. In the end. Here you go. And me just checking her stack. So we go back and forth to different exercises. I don't know if you ever heard of circuit training, but you can use a setup like this to do circuit training where you go from one exercise to the other. You can see how she's really using and stretching forward now, whereas at the start she wasn't stretching quite as well. So that's a good sign that these exercises have helped to loosen her up. But myself and Finn, we've like sort of made it an aim now because we're finding them really good and quite enjoyable, and the dogs are quite enjoying it too because they get lots of treats. Why wouldn't they enjoy it? But we're going to aim to try and get these exercises in at least once a week. You see how she's doing a better push up then from the down, and then push up, or she's getting tired.
Good.
That wasn't quite as nice.
Spin. Good.
But I do a spin, a twist.
Good.
And have a little play with a stack, I think I do. Nope, do more of them. You can see how Finn swapped from exercise to exercise too with Kevin, which is good because you don't want to overwork one particular exercise and make them a bit overtired with their muscles, and then that'll make them reluctant to do that exercise again because they'll be like, well, last time I did that I had to do it for 10 minutes straight and it hurt. So you want to short and sweet is better than anything else. But anyway, I'm going to leave this voice recording here and hope you enjoyed and hope you gained something from it, and see you all soon. Bye.